put the claps down there. Put the claps for this beauty queen.
Hi, peace.
You know, I'm so happy that, unlike your friend Leonard, you have good Wi-Fi. This is such a pleasure.
It literally is what we spend 15 minutes on every week on our podcast. Like, every time he's like,
yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? Get some Wi-Fi. You know that you're a radio guy. You should have.
Yeah, you're media amazing.
Communicate with the people. Like, what are you doing?
Absolute facts. First of all, we're gonna get into that because I have something in my mind that's happening, and I don't know for sure, but truth is, like, the smog is gone. They say that the smog is cleared up and it's the best air.
Well, I'm so glad you asked. Let me show you.
Yes, please share with us.
I think it's a decent view. Oh my God, can I get this thing out of here?
Yes, you can. Take your time. We have time.
Okay, hold on. Whoop, almost died. Hold on, here we go. Okay. So, do you see that?
Wow.
It's like clear. I wonder if you can see. Let me see if I can show you the Hollywood side. See it kind of?
Wow.
It's like cars, like, right?
But the air is really clear. I thought that might be a conspiracy theory or a meme.
No, it's pretty clear. Like, that's the whole little. That's a whole window, but like that's a whole little view situation. So yeah, it looks good right now. It looks good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you're feeling good. You're spirited.
I'm not holding this phone. I gotta put it back in this mount.
Go ahead. Take your time. I got a question for you while you're mounting. Can I ask you something special?
Yeah.
So yesterday this started on my live, and I have to get your opinion because after this I'm going to post it, and I want to see what the world thinks. But you know, you've been to HBCU. You didn't attend one, but you've been to Howard Homecoming. You've been to homecomings. You've participated, and we had a real discussion on the top 10 historically black college and university all-time homecoming songs yesterday. And I'm talking about, it ranged eras. Obviously, Before I Let Go was in every generation's top 10. We had Dreams and Nightmares. We had Boosie, Wipe Me Down, because Boosie was on the show yesterday. I would like to know your top 10 favorite. We'll just say homecoming for the overarching, right? HBCU top 10 songs.
That's a good question. Oh man, I don't know. Like, that's so. And I'm a playlist person too, but I like study. Like, I can build a good playlist. You know, I had to do a podcast with your brother, Be Nice, with Derek, because I'm like, okay, my playlist game is sick, but I can't DJ. I need help.
Right. Well, listen, I won't put you all the way on the spot, but when we post that, you have to say your top 10.
No, I love that though. I'm like, I don't want to mess up. Like,
but you can't really mess up. It's perfect.
But I kind of don't want it to be like top 10. What everybody's gonna bop to. I want it to be like my homecoming top 10.
And listen, slow jams are in mine. So listen, I feel you. But we were talking, just to give you some of the records. So yesterday we were like, Swag Surf is like our new Before I Let Go, right? So Before I Let Go was on the list. Wipe Me Down by Boosie. They were, it was so many. I had a whole list. Wait, I have a list. I feel
like now, like, I had you play Kendrick Loyalty. I feel like All Right is one of those. I don't feel like that's just the homecoming record. I feel like that's like the activist anthem.
Right. No, Loyalty is dope. And by the way, everybody, Angela Rye.
Tupac, I get around. Y'all know I'm West Coast. I got to give you some West Coast songs.
Oh, so here we go. We had Nuck If You Buck, Swag Surf, Back That Ass Up, Wipe Me Down, Dreams and Nightmares, We Fly High by Jim Jones, Frankie Beverly, Before I Let Go, and I kind of stopped there, but I was trying to figure it out.
And see, this is why I had to represent the West, because I knew y'all were going to be shading the West Coast. Like, we don't bring the fire.
No, but I was going to... So what is it? Gin and juice?
No, well, yes, anything with Snoop and Dre on it is a classic. It's a classic.
I got 5 on it.
I know that people will not like this, but I'm sophisticated ratchet. There is a ratchet side. I know all of the lyrics to It Ain't No Fun If the Homies Can't Have None. So that would be on my personal homecoming. Like, I danced to that so hard on my 30th birthday house party. Like, that was...
I will tell you this, Angela. You're one thing, and this is for sure. You're light-skinned, but you're blue-black on the inside. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Angela and her...
I'm afraid for you, Kitty. I'm afraid for you.
No,
but yeah,
I feel the same about myself, though. I think we get a bad rap sometimes, but they judge us by our pictures. Oh, by the way, you did look like Olivia Pope in that picture you said. That was like.
Let me tell you my beef with Olivia Pope. I don't mind a black woman who gets shit done, because I'm definitely one of those. My problem with Olivia Pope is scandal started with like this woman who always came in and saved the day on a problem. And then we got exposed to her problems. And why was she sleeping with the white man president? And
yeah, somebody said it in my comments. I like that for her, Kenny, but I don't like cheating with the white man president.
And here's my beef with that. Do you know, somebody asked me, they were like, oh, I had this question for you. I heard that you had an affair with Barack Obama. What? Like, what are you talking? I lost my mind. I was like, number one, I've never been in a room by myself with Barack Obama. So the Olivia Pope thing is like a trigger for me in a unique way, because I'm like, I would never do that, number one. But number two, like, where do you guys get this information? The same place you got 5G towers. Like, what are you talking about?
Right. No, that is wild. I've never been in the same room with them. No, that.
Not by myself.
No, but somebody on my live today, I mean, not on my live, on my comments today, they added you, by the way, and they were like, I'm not messing with her. And because what she did to some ex-football player now brain surgery. I was like, you must mean Amanda Seals, because Angela has never talked about or dated her. He's like, oh, yeah, but they're the same. I was like, no, she's different. I promise you, she's different. She's different.
I love Amanda, though. That's my girl. We just did a Black Women Speak political conversation with 8 of us that was so amazing. I know Taj, my cousin, is on here and was like, that's so crazy. Exactly. I agree.
That's the first. That might be a Kenny Burns show exclusive. I don't know if I've ever heard you say that on CNN.
I've never said it to anyone because I just never thought about it. But I'm like, maybe that's why that triggers me too. It's so stupid. It's like, just because you are an attractive person in a space where you think folks are breathing rare air doesn't mean you slept your way to your job. And that's the other thing, is it wasn't unique to Barack Obama. Somebody said that about, or several actually Black women said that when I worked for the Congressional Black Caucus. They were like, well, you're young. How'd you get your job? And I was like, Heffa, not the same way you got all of yours.
Right.
Not the same way.
Right.
Because I'm qualified.
No, but I went to law school. I have several degrees. No, I think,
and I have some experience. My ideas are good.
But we always get that rap, right? Like, and that's why I refer to you affectionately as, you're light skin, but you blue black on that side. You don't play. I remember when D Nice and I ran up on you. I think it was last year, or maybe the year before, during the Congressional Black Caucus in D.C.
Yeah.
And literally,
that was last year.
Yeah, it was the last year. So we run up, and you just like this. And we like, hey, what's up, girl? What's that? You like this? I'm tired. I'm trying. I ain't nobody talking about y'all. I know y'all late. Y'all late. We like, wait, this is the time they hired us to be here. Like,
that actually might have been the year before, because you guys to the south, through the south, and there's only one in Pennsylvania, Lincoln. But it's no, like none in New York. It doesn't go above that
the Mason Dixon line.
And there's none on the West Coast.
So my point about them are, though, if they were made, the go-to by families. When we were growing up, we were the Cosby Show, A Different World. We had all these, ideas of the historically black houses. The thing to do. It's the bands. It's the, education. It's the people like us. Why wouldn't, say, a Oprah, Bob, anybody who has is a multi-billionaire, right?
Wait, sorry, somebody corrected me. It is Cheney in Pennsylvania. I said Lincoln. I'm sorry about that. My bad. Thanks, fam.
Your heart was good, baby. We're going to keep it moving. So,
I don't like to have my facts wrong, so I appreciate that fact.
Absolutely. But I'm saying to say, like, there are people with money that could effectively make change. We know that money is the underlying root to a lot of the change we need to happen, especially immediately, right? Mm-hmm. Would the historically black housing universities be the go-to first to fortify, make whole, like redo these campuses and dorms? Mind you, they are in areas that where it's totally doable. But historically black houses will take your money. I don't know what they're doing with it all the time, but they will take your money. So I don't know, and I guess I'm challenging the hierarchy on in our financial structure of black and brown people to take half of their wealth. Like, just think about it. If I had $2 billion liquid, $1 billion could fix every historically black college that exists. It could fix the dorms. it could fix, the presentation. We're people of presentation. We like when the shit looks amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. I want to know your opinion on that because I have a belief, and I think that people with that type of money, especially Oprah, you don't have children. I'm not saying you don't have family or have the right to leave it to your dogs or whatever you want to do. I'm just saying, like, there's clearly things you've done, and I'm not taking anything away from that. I don't want nobody tearing me up. But do you need to have that sitting when it could be effectively? Because, education will help generations, not just today's.
Yeah. I think a few things. One is I don't think that you have to achieve billionaire status to support HBCUs. I do think that one thing that should be done almost immediately is if we care about saving these institutions, and we should. I said on the board of Wilberforce, somebody brought up that Wilberforce is in Ohio. I did say Midwest. I think that...
Leave her alone. She knows she get hard as good.
No, it's okay. I appreciate it because I fact check too, so I appreciate the fact check. The thing that I would say is that we should be pushing a lot of our student athletes to go to HBCUs.
100%.
If we had a real push to get some of the most talented athletes who are headed to NCAA D1 schools to go to HBCUs first, is their first choices in football and in basketball, hell, in soccer, like you're looking to totally shift the options that those schools have. Yes, through the athletic program, but because of the money that starts going in through the athletic program, you are able to completely shift the infrastructure of those schools and some of the other programs. Does that alleviate the responsibility of alums or people in our community who are doing well enough to support the schools, even if it's $20 a month? Of course not. But I'm saying that if we want something right for us, we have to start by investing in it and believing in it ourselves. Yeah. And I think that comes, from a variety of ways, not just with student athletes, also with some of the best and brightest. If you got a full ride to go to Harvard or Yale or Princeton, why not go to the HBCU? And I'm not just talking about Howard, Spelman, and Morehouse. There are more than just those programs. And there are also some of the opportunities that exist for some of our best entrepreneurs to stand up programs that exist or that could exist on these campuses to train up the next generation of entrepreneurs. So we have to start getting innovative and not seeing our support of our own as optional. It should be required and mandatory.
Yeah, I just want to hold our superheroes accountable, and people have been mentioning how great Oprah has done, and I'm definitely
and she's given
aware.
To HBCUs too.
No, clearly. Yeah. But when I go to when I go to these colleges and I frequent them, I speak all the time. I'm doing events, I'm hosting, and I just see rundown dorms. Like how? Like I feel like some of our and this is in the millionaire realm and people that can actually donate a little. Yeah, it's cool, but I know people with $20 million paintings. You know what I'm saying, and doing things socially that has nothing to do with actual. You know what I'm saying? Like and it gets to the point where it's like. And you come from activism. Your father was an activist, you know what I'm saying? And I think real activism is action. It's not talking or fucking posting all day long like you're really making effective change. We got to go spend some bread. Now, with little I have achieved in my life, I'm truly blessed and very happy, but I go all the time and give my personal services, right? The ability to go speak to someone that didn't have, the encouragement growing up, someone that didn't have the big brother or father figure in the house. I'm always doing that. Mm-hmm. That's what I can do. Now, I also donate. I also feed families. My wife and I do amazing things to help the people, when we can. And I don't know. I just feel like there's so many hypocrites and fake activists that don't have the action. And growing up as an activist, and you were inspired by your father who was an activist in Seattle, correct?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What is your take on activism?
Well, first, let me just respond to what you were just saying, and because I think this is important too. And I get caught up in it all the time. I'm trying to make a new habit of not counting people's money, how they spend their time, how they're activating or motivating other people to engage in activism, because I don't know what they're doing. Right. I'm just trying to keep up with what's in my own pocket, right? And how I'm engaging my own ways. And And I think the best thing that we could do, Kenny, is to lead by example and not be like, oh, well, such and such got this painting, so why aren't they donating it? You don't know what.
I didn't name no names now. I didn't say nobody's name.
I didn't say you did, but I'm saying whoever your friends are that got these multi-million. I don't have no multi-million-dollar paintings hanging on my wall. My artwork collection is not as large. However, what I would say is that I don't know what all they're doing. And I make it a point to align with people who aren't just about lip service, but do engage in real meaningful work. And I think the bigger bang for our buck is our collective books. And that means even if it is a bunch of us that are like, we're going to give $100 a month to the HBCU of our choice, will you join us? That's going to probably have more of a real impact if we get a lot of people than the one person with the multi-million-dollar art collection, right?
Like Bernie Sanders did.
What did he do?
I mean, he was just funded heavily by the small donations.
by the donors. And so you were asking about.
Look at you about to go ham sandwich. I was just saying.
No, I just was asking. I just wondering what did he do. So what you were saying my activism question was, what was it again?
No, you just come from you know your father's activism. You come from activism. What is real activism? Because I had mentioned what I felt activism was, and I believe it's action.
So what is it?
Yeah.
I think it takes on so many different forms. What I think is so dope about right now is there are people who engage in activism online and, organize protests that way. And there are folks who still do it kind of the old school way. My dad still has damn near every protest sign he ever used in a...
Wow.
Don't say, well, my mom is like, please get that out of here.
No, but activism back then was real work. I mean, if he saved that, I mean, that could be archival for you and art-wise.
Yeah, I don't know. It's true. But my mama just want him out her garage. So we're going to send him to your garage, Kenny. But the point is...
Lord. I'm sure some artists... Actually, Angela, I'm sure there are some artists that are on this live right now. I've seen like 3. Big shout to Horace. Big shout to Daniel Arsham. But I'm sure there are people that could really take those and use those. I mean, these period pieces in art are...
I will share, okay? Because he's serious about his... But we have a hoarding problem on both sides of the family. So let's see.
All right.
But either way, I think that it takes on so many different forms, whether your cause is climate change or systemic oppression or police brutality or gun control or reparations, like whatever it is, whatever your cause is, the most important thing is not that we prescribe your method to you. It's that you are committed to your cause and you are disciplined whether you get a fanfare or not. That it's not about how many people join up with you. It's that you have some people who will stand in solidarity with you and hold you to account to make sure you're doing the right thing for the right reasons. To me, that's activism. Pushing for change, whether it's on a micro level or a macro level, you are touching and changing some lives. And I think that there are so many ways to do that. There are people who, I say it all the time, I'm a journalistic activist, right? Because I use media for certain causes. I think that you can use television to push certain narratives and change mindsets. I think that you can do it legislatively, right? We talked about HBCUs and the needs they have. Part of the problem for all institutions of higher learning, but especially HBCUs, is there's one pot of funding in the Higher Education Act that they've been relying on, Title IIIB, that just doesn't do it enough. And so we have elected officials like those in the Congressional Black Caucus that are always finding ways to ensure that there are other pots of money from these schools. Many of the members, because they graduated from it.
Yeah.
So there are all of these different ways to move where you are activist. And again, I just made it my mission not to question the legitimacy of anyone's movement. But if there are holes, and I love those folks, I'll tell them where the holes are, blind spots are. And if they're thriving, just continue to encourage them and applaud them for doing.
I love that. Yeah. Well, you're necessary. I always say that Black women save me. But I truly believe women will save the world. And continue to keep us, in check, man.
Well, we've always been doing that.
I give it to you. I give it to you, and I honor that because I think, at the end of the day, you're way more thoughtful than men. We are reactionary in situations, but we're also necessary too because, what we kill, we eat, and we bring it home to you. So, but I appreciate.
You be killing it eating too. We be killing it eating too.
I'm just saying, can we get something? I just gave you all the credit in the world for saving the world as we know it.
We give y'all credit. I didn't know that you were searching for credit, so let me give you some credits. We give you credit for your innovation, Kenny Burns, for lifting up people who are doing good work, for doing that good work yourself without needing to be recognized, even though you're trying to get this recognition right now.
I wasn't talking about me, Angela.
I'm talking about you, Kenny. I will fight you like a Scorpio because I'm a Scorpio too. Ask Pup about that. Run, tell that. We stay fighting. But anyway, for being a family man and lifting up your family and giving them credit and something for all of us to aspire to, where you love on your peeps. What else? What else you want?
It.
For entertaining us during this quarantine period.
I appreciate that. That's it.
For letting us borrow Derek so he can have club quarantine every night. I hope he goes.
Now, how dope is that though? I mean,
I love it.
That was so dope. And I was saying, it's life is about milestones, right? Like you have to appreciate your journey. I always say my journey is tied to my dream. It's just equally fulfilling for me.
Yeah. And
to see and be a part of his, and literally like 2 days later, like the world has changed for him. I mean, it's like he's coming up on a milestone in June, like a big, halfway, right? And then it's like, to get it all in 2 weeks, like that has to be, you know what I mean? So very happy.
And you know what I love about it to this point, Kenny, because I think it's so important that people get it. On my podcast where he's trying to teach me how to DJ, but I really need to go touch the ones and twos so I can perfect my crafts. What he talks about on there is really just wanting to do something that he loves. He wasn't able to go be with the baby. He wanted to go with the baby. So he couldn't. And because he couldn't, he was like, I'm going to give y'all what I love. And so his intention, my whole point in this is when your intentions are pure, when your reason for doing something is right, the blessings overflow. 100%. That's just it. It's like if we're not, look, I'm about to post this to see what this go viral real quick. That ain't it. It's like, I want to say this because these are the thoughts and the concerns on my mind. I want to do this because I'm really worried about people. I want people to feel love and to feel good like how I feel. When you can move in that method, when you can move in that way, I just think the blessings come.
Yeah, and yours are coming tenfold, and we will protect you at all costs.
Well,
we appreciate you, and if you ever need me, I'm one phone call away.
I know, because now I know that you a Scorpio. We 3 days apart. I know you gonna bang on these fools.
When we first met, we talked about that, Angela. You're just doing too much. You forget.
Okay, you're right. I don't remember. My memory
is bad. Too big. You're getting too big.
I'm not getting too big. But you can ask it. There are people on my team, Kenny, who will be like, I
don't care about that. I know you love me. It's fine. I'm just saying, I love you. We here for you.
How you gonna start a fight at the end?
Because there's no fights. You win.
He just fighting. Okay.
What's next today? Where are you going to be today? Where are we checking you out? You on somebody's show? What are you doing?
What's today?
Today is Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. I need some tacos today. What am I doing today? I have something else. I can't look on my calendar. If I look on my calendar.
Okay, great. You'll cut them off. Okay.
Hi, DJ Clark Kent.
Clark Kent. Tony Rome. All right, we love you, sis. Go.
You hanging up on me? Okay, I don't know where I'm gonna be, but I'm gonna see y'all. Look at our podcast tomorrow. Troll us in the comments tomorrow. Tell Leonard his internet need. Can you guys start a GoFundMe for Leonard's internet?
Yeah, we gotta get him. We gotta get him right.
And
don't forget. And don't forget, top 10 songs of all time at the historically Black College University.
It's gonna be a West Coast homecoming. If there was a this is what I'm gonna do. No, can you listen? This is what I'm gonna do. If there was a West Coast HBCU, this would be our playlist. That's gonna be my response.
Okay. No problem. We're looking forward to it.
Okay, bye, y'all.
See you soon. Bye, sweetie.
Bye.